Good evening, everyone. I am here this evening to drink tea and to remind each of you that as a person and as a girl or a woman, it is important to sit down about once a week for me, maybe less for you, maybe more, and just do something that is you. That is nothing to do with your significant other or your children or your job or your coworkers. It's just something that when you're completely alone, and if you've never lived alone, you don't know what that's like. I personally have to drink tea. I usually pull out my calligraphy pens and do a little bit of writing. Sometimes I just read Mark Twain. It's just something that is completely me, and I would do it if nobody else was around. It's not something that I've learned to do because of someone else. So I wanted to bring that up because not only is it important for us as people, as individuals, I think it is especially important for me and for certain other people who might have grown up like I did. I spoke in a recent video about the Portuguese word that other blog brought up that I thought was very cool, about the unrealistic expectation or the desire for something that doesn't exist. So I explained it as a point in time with a group of people in a particular location. That is what you're missing. Well, this is how I go back there. I know it's not the same thing, and I know that some people think that it might actually be destructive versus helpful, but I've been doing this exercise for several years now, and I find that it's useful not to dwell in the past, but to take a moment every once in a while. For me, in the beginning, it was every day. And then for a while, it was just once a month, and then sometimes I'll go back to once a week, and it just varies depending on how well you're handling all of the changes in your life and how stable you're feeling at that point in time. So I use this time as me time, but I also use it as an opportunity to think about the past. It sounds very morbid, I suppose, or like I'm trying not to face the future, but it's important for us to keep that past a part of us, because it is part of us, and especially for those of us who can't explain that to anyone or give anyone a concrete idea of what it is that we're missing and why they found us bawling in the living room just now for no particular reason. It's just important to have that moment of recognition that it's there, and that it's going to affect you a little bit, less and less as time goes on. But for that purpose, I drink tea. Sometimes I follow little customs that I had overseas that are obsolete here. We didn't have a lot of things like peanut butter or chocolate bars or anything like that, partly just because we were too poor to purchase them, not because they weren't available. But so I used to make powdered milk, and it was better if you heated it up anyway. So we'd heat it up and it'd be hot milk, and you would beat it up with a whisk, make it all frothy, and then for the treat you could add pieces of the chocolate bars. It was basically baking chocolate, but that's what we called our chocolate bars. And it was so good. Can't find anything like that up here. And you just let it sit in the milk and just kind of melt into a great big glob on the bottom of your cup. This is very healthy. It was very good for when I needed chocolate. Also, we didn't have Reese's, but I had peanuts. So I would get a bowl of peanuts and my milk with my secret chocolate melted in the bottom, and then you dig the chocolate out through the milk with a spoon and eat it with the peanuts. Best dessert ever. I've never been able to recreate it here in the United States, probably because I don't have powdered milk or that particular chocolate bar. Maybe it was just because it was that much more wonderful there. But little customs, little things. Look at pictures if you've got them. Just take a few minutes to live in that place with those people at that time, and just recognize that it's gone, but it did exist, and you're not crazy, and it's okay to cry sometimes. It's okay to cry a lot of times. It's necessary. Just try not to do it in the middle of the bus. They didn't take very kindly to that. I was in the middle of LA. That might have been part of the problem. Anyway, cheers.